Hello, I'm Charlotte from Brown New Public Library. Today we are doing a wind spinner for sewing group. So if you do curbside pickup at the library, there will be packs for the wind spinner project. In each pack there is thread and there are 7 2-inch strips of cardstock. So this isn't just paper, this has a little bit of, what's the word? Stiffness to it, that's the word. Alright, I'm going to make sure these are in rainbow order. Step number 1, get the thread on the needle. So the pack doesn't come with a needle. I am making sewing needle boxes that you can check out. So if you don't have a sewing needle, you'll be able to borrow one for this project. So I've threaded the needle, and now on the other end I'm going to make a knot. I was taught you just loop it around your one finger, you roll it off so it gets all twisty, and then with your fingernails you kind of drag that into a knot, which doesn't look pretty, but it's effective. Now I'm going to start at the bottom. I'm going to start with purple, and in the middle of it, well, middle going this way, at the bottom of the middle, I'm going to poke through, and let's see if the knot catches. It does. Okay. So now I'm going to go, about another centimeter up. And I'm always being very careful that I'm not poking the needle towards my fingers. And if you have a sewing machine, you could do this with a sewing machine. Oops, this happens sometimes. But I think this is more fun to do without a sewing machine. It's quarantine, we've got time on our hands. And I feel like I didn't quite do it even, so at the end of the project I might take a scissors and even it out, or I might just let it be lopsided. Oh, now that's a problem again. You see what I did there? So I gotta loosen it, let it pull around. There we go. All right, we've made it to the end of the purple. Now the next color in the rainbow is blue, but I don't want it flopping weird, so I'm gonna go through this loop again. Not loop, I'm going to go through the same hole I made earlier and pull it. I'm not sure if that helped anything. Maybe if I'd done some kind of knot here. Oh well. We'll just keep going and see what happens. That's what you do with projects. And I'm gonna leave like half an inch of space. I'm gonna go through this again. Go through the same hole. Oop, don't want to tug that too much. There we go. All right. Oops. Oh. Okay, yeah, if you have a cat, you might want to put them in a different room. Okay, I'm going to give myself a lot of extra thread this way because I don't want it to keep falling out. Excuse me. And always remember to be aware of where your finger's on the other side. And if you had a thimble, which is like a tiny metal cup or hat that you put on your finger, that can be helpful because then you put your finger on the other side on purpose to guide your needle through. But if you don't have a thimble, then you do not want it on the other side. Your fingers to be on the other side. Another way is if you're not worried about the surface, you could put the paper down and then poke down vertically. On this stool, there's actually a little gap right there, so I'm not hurting anything. All right, this is getting very messy. Made a mess of it again. There we go. Secure an extra loop. And the next color is teal. Well, that half an inch I tried to leave myself got swallowed up. I'm going to leave myself half an inch again between them, expecting that it'll probably get swallowed up again. And I'm finding the more I do, the faster this starts going. But don't go too fast. You don't want to hurt yourself with the needle. Okay, so my spacing's not perfect, and that's okay. You can try and actually there we go. I tighten that up a little bit so that it's the same between each one. And onto lime green. Go through the same hole. And leaving myself about the same. Try to get standard size gaps. And I'm noticing this one I'm kind of wrinkling because I'm bending it as I try to get a good angle. So if you want to avoid the wrinkling, you'll want to pick up the whole strip. Oh dear, what have I done? What have I done? Oh, okay, I messed up. So I'm going to pull the thread out of the needle, set the needle there and not forget where it is. I'm going to undo this one. Came through the wrong side. I should have come through the back. And then re-thread the needle. There we go. And I don't need to poke a new hole. I can go through the same one from my mistake. There, that looks better. All right, it's coming along. Time for yellow. Ouch. Okay, I stabbed myself. That's gonna happen sometimes. We just gotta take it as a sign to move slower. One thing is, if you can see this, but from my perspective, I can see the shadows of my hand, so I can see where my fingers are, and I can avoid stabbing them that way. Oh, I tightened it too much. There we go. Okay. And whenever I start a new one, I always start at least a centimeter away from the edge because you don't want it to rip if it's too close to the edge. You need something for it to hold on to. Now, another trick you can try, or you can ask an adult to do it for you, is you can poke the holes ahead of time. So now, when I try to push the needle through, it's much smoother. It doesn't jolt all of a sudden and lose control. Yeah, this feels much safer. And this also lets you plan out the spacing of the stitches, the number of the stitches. And I got myself anyways. Which means I should slow down. Oh, here's another thing that can happen. Make sure that tail of your thread, you got to keep shortening it as you get towards the end of your thread. Because if you start sewing in double threads, that'll be hard to get out of. Alright, I'm going to pre-stab this one. I'm making sure to keep this gap about the same. I'm doing a loop. We're almost done. Okay, when you get to this point, we do the normal loop off. And then with all this extra thread, we are gonna leave space to create a big loop so that it can be tied to something. And I like, just without much of a plan, to just sew it back through the last few. Loop it in on itself. Oh. And there, it became a knot. If a knot doesn't just magically happen, you can take the loose end of the thread and your loop and pretend like they're shoelaces. Just do a quick basic knot. Now, you've made your wind spinner, and you can go hang it outside. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next month for our next sewing project. Goodbye!